gentlemen, and welcome to the third episode of Zoom In by AJP Tour. This is your host, Zahi Phram, and I'm sure everyone is doing great after a super exciting weekend at the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam here in Abu Dhabi. In case you missed the action, you can visit ajptour.tv or take a look at our extensive event coverage done on our socials at AJP Tour. I say this every episode, but seriously, today is a super special episode as our guests will be with us here in the studio. We'll be joined by AJP's own Rodrigo Valerio. I have so much to discuss with this man. We might need an episode with him alone to discuss not only Abu Dhabi Grand Slam end of season, but the new season starting in Rio next month. AJP's aggressive expansion to USA will also be part of our menu. And Rodrigo has a surprise, which he talked to me about. I'll give you a hint. It's the next big event in the grappling world. More about it in today's chat. Also on our show today is Diana Teixeira, all the way from the hard land in the middle of the Amazon jungle, Manaus. She's going to tell us all about training jiu-jitsu and the social projects and her family's support that got her to where she is today. We'll also talk with Catriel Rodrigues about his interesting run this weekend. Not exactly ending the way he wanted it, but getting the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam Season Award with all the hardship he went through over the last 2 years. That is surely satisfying. Our final guest of the day is going to be Leonardo Mario, the #1 ranked black belt on the global AJP ranking. He's been traveling with us all over the world. He loves it and he's here to talk all about it. So let's get the show running. First up, Catriel Rodrigues, big and mean on the mats, but soft and calm person off the mats. Thank you for joining us, Catriel.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
We got in touch a few days ago on WhatsApp. You sent me a few voice notes. We were trying to get a story out for the press, and personally, I was very moved by the story you told me. And we're going to talk more about this story in details. Actually, This is the reason why I brought you here as a guest to the podcast. I want the whole world to know about the hardships which you went through. But before that, of course, Abu Dhabi Grand Slam on the weekend.
Yes.
You had a great performance, starting with your first match, 28-0. That must have given you a proper boost, right?
Yes. So my first fight was against Dante Khan. So I already fought against him last year. And I was a little bit nervous because last Grand Slam I did train a lot because of the injuries that I got to my wrist. But on this time I was training a little bit more, so I was confident and I was look forward to see my performance in the competition. By the way, I didn't want to score 28 points, but with the pass of the time, I was control the position. I was trying not lose the position, but in my opening, he also able to escape a little bit of my techniques, and then I had to go back, try to get closer. Then at the end of the time, I saw 28 points.
28-0 is not something very common, right?
Yeah. But one fight before, also the guy that was fighting, he scored the same points, 28. So 2 fights in a row, 28 points.
This is very rare.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then you had a good match against Cardoso.
Yeah. So that was, I fought against him 5 times already. The first match I lost for him. So then 4 in a row, I was able to win the fight. So as I said, after the fight interview for Asia, so it's very hard to fight against Renato because
he's a tough competitor.
Yeah, he's very he knows my game well, and I know his game. So I need to watch my legs because he's a footlock guy. So any single mistake, he can just finish the fight like this. So then I have to be aware with everything. So it was a good fight. I was try to control him, so I could score 5 points.
Yeah, it was a 5-0.
Yeah, that was good. It also was the first time that I did pull guard with him. I was the whole time try to pass his guard, and I was able to pass. That was good. That
and usually when you're coming into a competition, you're checking the brackets, of course, right?
Yes.
And you're strategizing for each person in the bracket.
Yeah, so I have the strategy to, but here in Dubai, I'm already used to fight with the all these athletes. Like for example, Renato, I'm always like my strategy is to pull guard, to sweep, to stay on top, like watch my leg. But this time was a little bit different. Also, I could see like I wanted to see my performance on top, like to build my confidence. Also, like for the competitions come. And my first fight against Dante, my strategy was to stay on top, but he did pull me guard. So then what I had to do was to sweep him direct, like pull guard, doing this scissor sweep, and I was able to stay on top. So that was my strategy, but on the final, my strategy was not so good. So that was my mistake.
The final was a story of its own, right?
Yeah. Like it was the third time that I fought against him. So we are from the same team. A lot of people was ask like, are
Marcos Carozinho.
yes, right? Are you guys going to close the division? I said, oh, we're going to fight. We already fought like 2 times. It was 1-1. Now it's 2-1 for him. So the strategy was not so good. And I was trying to attack. He was also attacking a lot. And I thought at the end of the fight that I won that match by referee decision, but the thought of the referee was different than mine.
I saw that you went for a takedown in the last.
I
Was
went
it
to
the
the
last
take-
10 seconds, right?
Yeah, no, it was like on the goals. Yeah, the last 10 seconds from the
first 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. On the gold score, I pulled guard and I was trying to sweep him. On the first 5 minutes, I had like 2 advantages, but the referee like gave me the advantage, and then on the VAR they said to remove the advantage. So then I was like, and it was like a little bit like relaxed for me, because when the referee gave that advantage for me, I was like, now it's okay, I can breathe a little bit.
And that they had to look at it again, right?
And then they removed it. I was like, oh no, man, like I have to do everything again. But it's okay.
It's okay. I mean, you did win the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam Season Award.
Yeah, but like I was able to win the ranking again one more time. For last year, I won again as well. So yeah, now just fix the mistake, go back, and
It's part of the journey, right?
Yeah,
It's part of the journey.
It's a big
And
part.
talking about journey, you have a very inspiring life journey.
Thank you very much. Yes.
You went through hardships. I read the article.
Yes.
You've been through a lot. And given your young age, a lot of people go through a lot, but not a lot of people will deal with it the same as you did.
Yes. So it was really hard. Like in 2019, I was like, I still was like 18 years old. Me and my wife, like she was my girlfriend that time. We got the news that she was pregnant. So I was like, I was thinking about my athlete life, because I was training every day. I was only doing jiu-jitsu. So then I was like scared about like, now how it would be like, I have to stop jiu-jitsu, I have to find a job and start work with something else just to provide everything to my family. And I came to Dubai 2019, and then I didn't say it to my coach, I didn't tell him, because I was scared, right? And I was like, no, I'm not gonna say it to him. So, but every day I was wake up, and I was like sitting on the bed. It was like, no, today I will tell
Today
him.
I'm gonna tell.
Today I'm going to tell him. But every time when I was looking at him in the morning, I was like, hey, good morning, coach. And he was like, hey, good morning. And I was like,
Good morning, what? What do you have to say?
No, I don't have nothing to say. And the funny part was when the last day in Dubai, when he brought me to the airport, when I was like going to the gates, was last time like when I saw him, I said to him, hey, I have to tell you something. And he was like, what? So Louisa, she's pregnant. And then he was like, what? And like his reaction was totally different than I expect. Like he was laughing. Like he was like, why did you tell me before? I was like, oh, I was scared. And it was not very common, also because of the culture here. I was scared about to tell everyone about this. And I went back to Brazil.
How did you feel? How did you feel when you actually said it and you saw a relatively positive reaction?
Yeah, it was like, imagine that I had like 100 kg on my shoulders, so they just really, it was much easier to tell my parents and her parents than to tell to my coach. That was like very hard for me. But after that, I was like more confidence also with my journey, and he was telling, no, don't need to worry because I'm with you, so I'll try to help you with everything, so don't need to worry. So let's see in the future we can come to Dubai. But when I saw my son born, and in 2019. Actually, I didn't want to come to Dubai as a
What's his
coach.
name?
Leonardo, we call him Leo. And he does jiu-jitsu. He's 3 years and a half now, but he does jiu-jitsu, has like what, 2 stripe. That's good. I was talking to him to try to make him fight on the World Pro kids. Maybe he will fight, I don't know. He said that he wants. And I told him like, but you can fight, but you can win or you can lose. You see these medals? And I was showing him like gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal. I said, you can get any one of these. He said, no, I want to fight. I said, it's okay, that's good. But in 2021, but on the pandemic, like it was really hard for me. It was the most hard time because I couldn't go to the gym to teach private class, even like group class. We had to stay at home in the COVID time. So and then I started to work as a Uber in Brazil. I took my dad's car, and I put like the registration for the Uber, and I was drive like every day to try to get some extra money to give the thing for my family. But in 2021, like at the beginning of 2021, was the time that I was so struggling with everything that I couldn't even pay the lights. So the first month I didn't pay, the second month I didn't pay. On the third month, they removed the energy from my house, and I had to go back to my mom's house, like to sleep, to do everything there. And that was like, for me was really hard because I was like, man, are we doing the correct, the correct way? Are we doing the things right? Because now we have a family, I have like a wife, I have to provide everything for them. So what do you have to do? Are you keep, do you think that is it good to keep work like this? Like believe in our jiu-jitsu, we just have to do something else. Like go to work with someone, like do something. Like,
Is this you thinking in your head, or is this
yeah,
like
it
a
was
family
like,
conversation?
No, my thanks God, but my families never said something like this to me. Never. They always give the support. For example, my mom, I told her I don't want to go to Dubai. I don't want to go. She said, you have to go. You have to go. It will be better for you. Just believe in God and go. It will be better. She never came to me and said like, oh, it's better for you stop jiu-jitsu and then look for something else to do. She never said it to me. That was good. And she also was giving the support for me. And my dad also. Unfortunately, 1 month before coming to Dubai, my father passed away. And that was
May rest in peace.
Thank you. And this was one of the things that I was more like sad because he was always asking like, when are you going to Dubai? When you are going to Dubai to work with your coach? When you are going? And I was like, I don't know.
He wanted to feel comfortable.
Yes.
He wanted to feel comfortable for you.
Yes, but I didn't have the answer for him that time. And I was like, I didn't want to tell him that I don't want to go to Dubai. I want to stay in Brazil, like to keep my athlete life. But athlete life in Brazil, it's really hard. It's really hard, especially if you have a family. And
guys, this is a life lesson on how to become a man. Keep talking.
Thank you. So, and then like, because my father, he got like a really bad situation. He was not like understand very well the things. So, and I remember that one day he went to the hospital. He was really bad, and one day after that was like the next day was my flight to come to Dubai, and I had to. And my mama, she was like, "No, you go, and you just say like goodbye. Your father, he will understand that you need to go. He wants you to go, so just go, say like bye, and then you come back late." So, and I was like, "Okay, I have to go." And I spoke to my dad and said, "Hey, yeah, you know, like that we're going to Dubai tomorrow, right?" He said, "Yes, I know. So I wish you all the best for you. Go." And I was like, I didn't want to go even like because of that situation. My father, he was on the bed, and I was like, okay. I went to the airport. Next day, they did allow me to fly. They did allow me to fly, and I was like, what's going on? Like, but it was because of the COVID-19 also. But we didn't receive any mail and information about that. So I went back. My father went back home the same day. And after 1 week, he passed away. And then, like, 2-3 days after he passed away, I went to Dubai, and yeah,
I'm sure he was very proud that you actually went.
yes.
Imagine if you didn't go.
Yes.
Now you would have been feeling,
Yeah, he wanted me to come in and did you go to Dubai, so that was like.
and it was a good thing. It was
Yes.
a good thing you came. The last 2 years, I'm sure they've been prosperous for you, right?
Yes, very. So and then like these days I was talking to my wife because in Brazil many times my son he's allergic, right? He cannot eat like milk, nothing.
Milk, yeah.
And I,
Last week I met 2 Brazilians that cannot eat milk.
yeah, like
What's
that.
this? Is this like a Brazilian thing?
No, like I don't know, like but my son he's allergic. He cannot like eat milk. Like on the beginning it was really hard because I didn't have money. So the things like vegan, it's very expensive. So and I was like, man, once the thing is hard for you, it can become even harder. And then my son like came allergic, but I was like, no, the things will be like okay. And last Grand Slam in Brazil, the first one for the season, I went to Brazil, and I went to the supermarket with my mom. But I was already living in Dubai, right? And I was looking at the biscuits that my son used to eat, right? Was the only one that I could like afford. And I was looking at these, like I even wanted to cry because I was like, man, I told my friend that went together with me, one student of mine, I told him, listen, you see these cooks, so it was the only thing that I could buy to my son. Now I can buy like many things for him, like I don't need to worry about it. Now he can eat like what he wants. Even the chocolates, like vegan chocolates, he can eat. So that's good.
Guys, this is an awesome story. Thank you for sharing it, by the way. Thank you for sharing it, and I really appreciate you opening your heart. Some people like can tend to have like the tough character when it comes to these sensitive things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're in UAE. You get to compete. Maybe you thought before that moving to Abu Dhabi, it will not be good for your athlete career, but now you're here. There is at least 5-6 championships happening locally, and you get to travel a little bit since you're actually making enough money, right?
Mm-hmm. So that was good. For example, yesterday I was talking to one friend of mine that was planning to come to Dubai to start working in UAE, and she was telling me like, yeah, but I'm afraid about my athlete life. I said, hey, I know what you're talking about because I passed through this before come. So the first thing that I was thinking about before come was like, do you think, Catriel, like I was make this question for myself, do you think that you have like a training enough in Dubai, like qualified to train? Because in Brazil I used to train in GFT MEM, so I have like a lot of people from my category division, so light, heavy, so people's doing a lot of types of guard and different games, so that was good for me to improve my jiu-jitsu. And I was feel that my jiu-jitsu was really improving. And I was like, do you think that you have like the same quality of a training in Dubai? And one day, like when I came to Dubai, I went to celebrate a birthday of one person that I didn't know at that time. I was invited by someone who was invited to the party. So I went there and I met like 4 person that I didn't know at that time, but they would be my best friend. The name is Pablo, Diego, Pedrinho, and Hitler, but Hitler, he was not there, so it was 3. And these people was like my train, like together with my coach, Julio. So then I could have like 6 people training together with me every single day, and then they could provide for me like the best training. And they also like, and then after 1 year in Dubai, I remember the end of the year 2021, people from Brazil came to train with us. And there was the same people that used to train together with me in Brazil. And I remember how was my training with them. So they was like, now I want to see like how's my jiu-jitsu. I want to test my jiu-jitsu. And my jiu-jitsu was like...
it was better, yeah?
100% better. I was training with the post like... And I'm like, yeah, like...
Because mentally
Yeah.
you're more comfortable now. You're able to provide.
Yeah, and I was also able to provide for myself the things like the athlete needs. For example, I can buy for me like the supplements. I can do the things that I couldn't do in Brazil. So now I can be like more athlete. So and in 2021, I fought the World Pro. My first World Pro is a black belt. I lost in the final for the qualifier for Isaac. And before that match, I was like, man, my performance is good because I fought with the people that is only athlete. I'm an athlete and coach, so that's amazing. So, and I lost the final for Isaac by referee decision. So I'm not so lucky with the referee decision.
How's
So
the preparation for this year's World Pro?
for the last year or for this year?
This year.
So this year, yeah. So we're still a little bit like far from for the World Pro. It's November, but
You're going to Abu Dhabi Grand Slam Rio?
I think so. Hope. So every competition like for AJP for me is a preparation for the World Pro because the rules set the times. So everything for me like it's to show me like where can I improve, what is my mistakes, and how is my performance during like 5 minutes of fight. So for example, last year, let's talking about last year. Last year was fight a lot of competitions out like in the around the world because of the AJP ranking, and I could see like how my jiu-jitsu was improving, where I could improve my jiu-jitsu to fight like 100% like good at the World Pro last year. And this year will be the same thing. Like I'm gonna push even more myself. So hopefully I can get like a more training partner. For example, I have my friend who came from Rio, not from Rio, from Manaus, but he was living in Kazakhstan before. So now he's here to help me also with the training. So it will be much better than last year, and I'll get strong also.
So now you're like an ambassador for the Brazilians. Come to UAE, you can still do it here, right?
Yes, it's hopeful. Yes, that's good. If you have like any doubts about like come to UAE, just talk to me, and then we'll give you guys the support that you need.
You want to share your number? No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Just send me DM so then you guys will get contact with me.
Before we wrap this up, I would like you to share a message to young people that might be passing through similar things you passed in at a young age.
Yeah, so that's really good because I remember when I got that situation in Brazil, so I saw one guy that he already passed it for that situation. The first thing that I did was to send a message for him. Hey, how do you do it? How are you doing it? Like, how did you pass through this? Can you help me, please? Because my mind's not working, so don't have nobody to talk about it. Like, everything, like, a lot of people around me already had a plan. And I would take the plan. It was like, no plan, nothing. The responsibility just come like to me and they said like, now it's your time to show the responsibility, to take the responsibility. And you guys just have to believe more like on yourself. Always like keep push yourself like every day. When I say like you push yourself every day, it's not only about the training, but also like outside, like every day, like with your family, with your own responsibilities, not like only on the mats, but outside also. So that will make a lot of a difference for you as an athlete and as a person also in the future. So like this, you can build your future. It will be much easier for you to achieve your goals, and also to be like a nice person in the future, like to give like to be inspiration for other people. That's like the thing that I always like put on my mind. Just give you everything every single day of your life without thinking the past. If you have something to do now, don't think about like later on. So do everything now, and later on we're gonna fix like as you. I believe like we live under God's plan. So think about like today and tomorrow. He'll prepare something for you.
Do what you have to do, and God will do the rest.
Yes, that's perfect.
Catriel, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be seeing you around.
Yes, hopefully.
So our guest today, Diana Teixeira, thank you for coming. Guys, let me tell you what happened. So when I approached Diana on WhatsApp in order to invite her here, she was using Google Translate to reply to me. So I didn't know that her English is getting better, but not very good. So today, I'm going to ask you the questions in English and feel comfortable replying back to me in Portuguese, and we can use the subtitles. Deal? Okay?
Okay, no problem.
First of all, congratulations on your performance in Abu Dhabi Grand Slam in Abu Dhabi and also winning the awards. It must have felt very special for you to win the actual event and the season award as a black belt. Tell me a little bit about this.
Obrigada, Zahi, pelo convite. Eu estou muito feliz por ter conquistado já 2 títulos importantes nessa federação. Tem sido gratificante para mim e para minha família poder estar me assistindo conquistar tudo que eu sempre falei para eles. E eu acredito muito em Deus, então eu agradeço a Ele, né? Todos os dias. Eu pedi essa oportunidade dele, eu pedi a oportunidade de estar aqui hoje. E graças a Deus tem dado certo. E é isso, eu tô muito feliz.
What type of role did your family play in your jiu-jitsu journey?
Minha família tem sido o mais importante para mim. Quando eu comecei no jiu-jitsu, minha mãe sempre me apoiou. Meu pai, ele faleceu, eu tinha uns 15 anos de idade, então desde então minha mãe me pegou pela mão e me mostrou o caminho. Eu lembro que minha mãe deixou de fazer faculdade na época, ela trabalhava e fazia faculdade, ela deixou de fazer faculdade, só eu tenho 3 irmãos que treinam e ela deixou de fazer faculdade para cuidar da gente e dedicou todo o tempo dela pra gente. Então, hoje em dia eu tento retribuir de alguma forma, dando orgulho para ela, ajudando em casa, nas despesas também, e isso tem me alegrado muito.
I know you're from Amazonas, Manaus, and you told me that you started your jiu-jitsu journey as part of the social projects there. Explain to me a little bit about that city. Not a lot of people know. They listen, they know about the name. Manaus, there are fighters coming out of there. Tell us about this place.
Manaus é onde os campeões nascem, né? Eu comecei num projeto social perto de casa, eu não tinha noção nenhuma do que era o jiu-jitsu. E eu comecei junto com meus 2 irmãos. Eles lutam até hoje. Eu comecei com meu primeiro professor. Eu não sabia nada de jiu-jitsu e no início minha mãe não deixava eu treinar porque tinha muitas crianças, muitos homens lá e ela achava que aquilo não era ambiente de uma mulher. Então acabou que minha avó me levou escondido dela enquanto ela ia trabalhar. E eu gostei, eu amei o jiu-jitsu assim, de amor à primeira vista, e eu continuei treinando. Eu lembro que era um projeto social, na época eu não pagava nada, eu acho que minha mãe começou a me apoiar depois que ela viu que o jiu-jitsu tirou a gente de casa. Eu era uma garota muito fechada, eu ficava muito em casa, e meu irmão, ele já gostava da rua, então ele salvou minha vida de alguma forma, salvou a vida do meu irmão também. E o projeto social hoje em dia é muito importante, né, para tirar as crianças das ruas, né. Cara, eu só tenho a agradecer ao meu primeiro mestre, eu vou falar o nome dele aqui, é o Alexandre Paiva. Ele salvou minha vida, foi um pai para mim, para meus irmãos. E se ele não tivesse montado aquele projeto social, acho que até hoje eu não saberia o que era o jiu-jitsu. E eu não sei o que eu estaria fazendo hoje nesse exato momento, mas o jiu-jitsu, ele salvou minha vida.
As a role model to many young girls who aspire to be like you, I would like you to share a message to these young girls that will help them in their jiu-jitsu journey, that will help them believe in themselves and not feel that something like that is impossible?
Obrigada por me fazer essa pergunta. A mensagem que eu queria deixar é para vocês não desistirem do sonho de vocês, que tudo é possível. Antes eu me inspirava em umas atletas que eram boas na época e são até hoje. E hoje competindo em alto nível como elas é gratificante para mim. E obrigada a AJP pela oportunidade. Ontem eu fui campeã do ranking e agora eu posso viajar ao mundo.
I know the language barrier made it a little bit hard for you, but thank you for putting in the effort, and thank you for whoever is gonna subtitle this video. Diana, it was a pleasure.
Obrigada, Zahi.
Leonardo, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Let me start by asking you this first. What does it take to be at the top of the AJP global ranking?
First thing, it's train hard. With train out, you can't be here. But yeah, the AJP it's giving so much opportunities for our athletes to compete, traveling the world. So I start doing that journey. So now I'm doing all the stuffs to be in the first at the ranking. It's tough because you have to travel. It's like some troubles on the travels, you know. But we are here today, and then I'm at the top now.
And when you say training hard, a lot of the athletes use this term, training hard, but it's relevant, right?
It's like more than hard. You have to be consistent. You know, you have to be like. You have to go every day, like even when you're tired, even when you hurt, even when you like doesn't wanna go, you have to do what you have to do. You know, so
sometimes it's like not only about doing, sometimes it's about not doing also, right?
Yes. Sometimes you can't accept your mind win yourself, you know. Like example, if you schedule 10 trainings at the week, you have to do 10 trainings at the week, you know, because that's gonna push you for the top. Get time, but if you do, you will get there, you know. But yeah, I think so. That's the way you have to train. You have to start looking at the best events to make the points. Be smart. It's very well too, you know, because if you're not a smart athlete, you doesn't use your mind, you'll be like lose on the way. So to don't be lose and then stop your goals, stop your journey. You have to be focused, like have a good mindset as well.
And what is your strategy for competing? You're saying that there is a strategy in maybe picking the championships or getting ready to the big championships in a certain way through competing in different small ones. Is this what you mean?
Yes, is that what I mean? But you have to know how, because I'm saying this, I learned from myself, okay? First thing I have to say, it's like 2020, I started to run the ranking as a brown belt. In 2021, I won that ranking. So I come to Abu Dhabi, I received the awards, the trophy, everything. Yeah, and then I learn with this. So I understand better how the points going, what's the best events to go, like what event make more points. I don't have money to go to all the events, you know, it's almost impossible. But if you focus like, okay, this event make like a 1,400 points, it's better than one event of 1,000 points. So I'm gonna choose one at that events, make more sense for me, and then it's better to go. So I'm gonna choose this one to go, you know. So yeah, I do this, and then I always put focus at Grand Slams because make so much points, and then also we get paid if you get podium, if you win. So that's very important too, because that's how I travel at the world. I doesn't have any sponsor that pay me my trips, my travel, anything else. I just get my money from the payments of the events, and then I get like plan all my trips. I start to plan my trips when I save the money to keep fighting, and then keep making points, and then keeping active on the journey. Yeah.
So the ultimate goal is staying on top of the ranking, and then at the end of the year being at the World Pro, right?
Yes.
Where the
Exactly.
actual prize is.
Yeah, and then another thing, it is World Pro to Brazilians. It's very hard because we have a tough bracket in the
Qualifiers.
event, in the qualifiers. Exactly. So if you're top in the ranking, you are already on the bracket. I think so. The qualifiers sometimes it's more hard than brackets. I'm not saying the bracket's easy, okay?
Yeah.
But sometimes the qualifier of Brazilian, it's
It's fine, you can say it.
It's
You can say
pretty
it.
hard, like 4 or 5 world champions inside the bracket, fighting against, so.
And
it's-
fighting for the same prize, right?
Exactly.
Everyone wants that spot in the bracket.
Everyone want the belt. It's too beautiful. I'm gonna get mine this year. Next year, I will try until I get. Yeah.
And from the way you laid it out, there's like when I said the word strategy, I was just thinking that maybe I'm using the wrong word, but it's an actual strategy. There's a lot going into it. There are a lot of decisions you need to make,
For sure.
and sometimes it's not fun, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it's not fun.
Sometimes it's like you have to choose. Like sometimes you have to choose between, example, your girlfriend or one event, your family or one event. Sometimes it's hard decisions, but we always have to keep doing, like doing your best to be like on the way. That's the most part hard for me. Like
Being the best version of yourself.
yes, because I'm a person like that. I like to be with my family. I like to care with them. I like to give them attention, but I don't live at my city. It's far. But always when I go home, I try to be like more spend more time with them.
More present.
Yeah, more present to them. To it's like to how can I say
To
this?
make up. To make up for the time where you are not there.
Exactly. That's the thing. Yes, So yeah, that's the hardest part to me. Decisions about like sometimes you have a family, things, whatever things, like trying to take your attention, but you have to keep focus on the way.
Of course. And trust me, I know from my family, they're happy, even when you're not there, they're happy seeing you succeed and doing your thing.
Exactly. Yesterday, when I post my photo of the ranking, the Grand Slam ranking, so they always share. They all share. They all comment. My mom call me, but here there's accept call, WhatsApp call. So she talked to me in WhatsApp. She was so happy. My dad was so happy. Everyone at my home, they share everything. Was very very well. It's a good sensation.
When opposite my parents, when I send them a photo of me training, you're still doing the sport, you're getting old, why are you still doing jiu-jitsu?
But we just who does jiu-jitsu know what it is for yourself. Like it's very well. Like change your life, change your mind, change like sometimes you feel bad, like you doesn't want to train, and then you go to the gym, you do your job, you train, you go back home like power, energy full, even when your body's tired, because the train makes your body tired, but you clean your mind, it's very well.
It's the thing about jiu-jitsu, maybe not just jiu-jitsu, but since it's our sport, in one way it is a stress release and it makes you feel better, but it's also a lot of stress on the body.
Yes.
And you need to be able to live with that.
Yeah. Just a second. Sorry. I'm sorry. Just a second. My mom's calling me like a crazy. Sorry, I'm
Take
so
it, take
sorry.
it, take it.
Ô, Fagundes, pega meu celular aqui, velho. Responde minha mãe aqui. Sorry, guys.
No, don't worry about it.
Ô, pergunta se é alguma coisa séria. Fala que é tu que tá falando. Tá vendo o tanto de ligação que ela fez aí? Caralho, que doideira, velho. Yeah, sorry. What did you ask?
Anything going on?
I don't know. My mom called me 3 times. I don't know what's happened. I asked to him, say what's happening on. But I don't think so. Maybe she just want... Oh, yeah. Maybe she will just want to talk with me. So, keep. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So we talked about the serious part of traveling around. Now,
Oh, you was talking about the body hurts, like stress your body.
Oh, yeah.
I got it. Yeah, on the way we get stress in the body. Even when you travel, it's terrible. When we're like, I was in Europe, and then there was an event in Sydney, in Australia. So I take a plane from, maybe I take a plane for Turkish to Malaysia to Kuala Lumpur, Kuala Lumpur to Sydney. So and then was like almost 42 hours traveling.
it's like a punishment.
You know, you have to stay seated all the time, and then your back hurts, you get tired, and then I get jet lag. It was terrible. I wake up every day like it's 5-6 a.m. and I can't sleep. I just stay all the day like, Jesus Christ, I have to go back.
40
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of incidents, some of the funny ones I would like to know about happened with you.
Yeah. Okay. This trip even had a funny thing. I was traveling and then I planned my trip. You know, I planned already before I go. I planned, okay, I have some hours to change from one plane to other plane to do all these stuffs. Go. Okay. And then I tried to get all the planes at the right time. But in Singapore, I had to go out from the airport to change my gate. So when I get out, I know was close time, and then I try to run like as a crazy that as I can to get there at the time. So I get there like 25 minutes late. So the gate was closed, and then I lost my plane.
This is a nightmare.
Yeah, and then that plane was one before I go to Sydney. So what's good was because it's like at the same inside the country was like from one city to other city. So I tried to do like I asked them like, okay, what can I do now? Please, can you help me? Like I start getting crazy because I know like to go Australia it's crazy expensive, you know. So I talked them like, okay, what can you do now? And she said, okay, we have a plane like 9 p.m. and then we'll be there 10 p.m. and then your gate's gonna close 10:30, something like this. I'm gonna take your ticket to you. Doesn't need to go out of the airport to take the plane. So she did this for me, and I get there at the time. I buy another ticket to go for the city, and then I get at the time. But I sweat all my clothes like I was not smelling as well. I was like a training jiu-jitsu because I run to go for the airport.
To get there on time.
Yeah, I was trying. I almost cry. I was just wanting to go take a shower and then put my head on the bed and then relax because it was crazy. I almost do a racing, you know.
40 hours. If everything goes smooth and you still have to travel 40 hours, it's still a nightmare.
It's still difficult. But yeah, it's history's life, you know. Always something happen when you're traveling, you know. It's not all. If something go right, something is wrong, you know. Life is like this. You doesn't know. You plan, but you doesn't know what's gonna happen. Your next step, you know. You just have to go and then see what's happening. If it's like what you think and then you plan or no. But
It's when things are going the right way. This is
Yeah.
when you need to start worrying, right? It's like this is too good.
yeah.
Something is about to happen.
Yes, exactly. That's the way.
And
like this.
when you're doing all that traveling, what do you do? Like 40 hours. How do you fill up your time? And is it mostly resting because you need to arrive and compete?
It's yeah. I try to rest. Most of the time, I'm doing diet, and then sometimes I like to heard podcasts. I learn with my friend. It's very good. You learn so much things.
Like personal development. So you have some topics you like to listen about.
Exactly. Yeah. Most of jiu-jitsu of bodybuildings, they're very
Informative.
yeah, it's informative. They care for they sleeping time, they food time, so that's important for us, you know. So we get a little, if you really care for this, you're gonna get some things for yourself, you know. So that's why I like to hear this. It's very good, and then the times pass. So because if you just stay like this, doesn't feel pass. You look the time, doesn't pass. You
So
look
no
the time-
dancing? No dancing in the airport?
No
I
dancing.
heard you
I-
have some moves.
It's joking for my friend. No, I don't know dancing, but because she like TikTok, I'm gonna say Asia. She watch TikTok, and Brazilian they do this like in the airport. They put the phone and then start dancing TikToks. But me, no, I'm so bad at dancing. I prefer to jiu-jitsu.
And outside jiu-jitsu,
What I like to
also that friend told me that your life is like a funny comedy movie.
do, yeah,
We're
that's
not gonna say her name.
Yeah, that was a joke, you know. Yeah, to be honest, my life is just all turned to jiu-jitsu. I live close from the gym. I don't do a lot things out of jiu-jitsu, to be honest, you know. All I do it's like training. Okay. One thing I like to do is eat. When we're in São Paulo, like with my friends, we choose one day at month or week that we're gonna eat like a crazy.
Can you
Ye-
cook?
Yes, I cook my own food every time, every day, like because it's cheaper, you know.
It's cheaper and
then
it's cleaner.
I cook what I like to eat, you know. If you go always to the restaurant, it's no problem, but for me, I doesn't feel very good, you know. My body doesn't feel very well, so that's why I try to do like one time at month we go eat, and then we choose buffet, sushi or burger or meat, you know, and then everyone eat like a crazy, and you know, snakes when they eat
The what?
snakes
The snakes?
You know anaconda.
Anaconda, yeah.
When they eat, they like just stay like for 3-4 days and doesn't move. We feel like
This
that.
is what happens.
We eat like to feel like this, you know. So it's crazy.
But I'm sure as an athlete, you know how important it is to fuel this machine with the right type of food, right?
Sorry.
As an athlete, you know how important it is to fuel this machine with the right type of food.
Yes, I start to eat more clean. 3 months ago, then I feel the difference. It's very, very different. My body feels more the flavor of the foods. When I'm eating, I can feel like good and then keep doing my stuffs, you know, because before I eat as well, but sometimes I get out of my diet, and then was hurting for me, you know, stay on the diet, like, because I doesn't have like a focus on the future. I was looking just I step off the event like, okay, after this event, I'm gonna eat this. I start doing like a crazy, you know, and I start to think like, okay, I doesn't need this, you know. It's better if I start eating better, and then when I want, I go and then eat. So my will pass, like they want to eat food, so we'll pass this.
So you're craving.
Yes,
Your craving
you know,
will pass.
so we'll pass. And then I start do this. Now I feel better. I doesn't get like crazy to eat, you know. I doesn't get like more anxious, because before I was anxious to eat, and then I eat so much. I eat like crazy. Now I feel better. Like
It's called emotional eating. So you get
Exactly.
anxious. I'm like, bum, bum,
Exactly.
bum.
And then I start to feel bad, you know, because I feel lazy all my day, because I eat so much than I need. You know, your body doesn't understand when you put so much food and then your body doesn't need that much. Have to go somewhere, you know, your energy go out to your belly to digesting that food. All right.
Of course, with someone who's always traveling and always competing, you do not have time to actually binge eat or be off the diet. It's
You
like
know,
a
you-
year-long
Exactly.
commitment.
Exactly. I arrived here in Abu Dhabi. I was doing my diet, and then at the plane, I eat some foods like I ate one smashed potato and then chicken from the plane. And then I was drink water, so much water, but the food stuck water at my body, because was so many sodium at the food from the plane. They have to keep like the food good. There is so much things in the food, so I eat, and then when I arrive, I was heavy. For sure, I will be heavy, because I was drinking water and everything, but was more than I think, you know. So when you eat something different, you already feel, you know, at
feel
the
the
same
difference.
time you feel, you know. Yes. So about foods like this, yeah,
So we're done with the food part.
yeah,
You better take care of your food. The new Abu Dhabi Grand Slam season is coming next month,
yes,
starting in Rio. Are we gonna see you there?
for sure. I will be there. You will see me in the podium. For sure. I will tag you.
You will tag me, yeah?
I will tag you. I'm gonna say, remember, my friend, I'm here. I say to you the interview. Yes.
Leonardo, it has been a blast. It's the first time I meet you. It was a pleasure for me, and we'll be seeing you a lot,
For sure.
for sure.
It's a
Yeah.
pleasure. It's a pleasure for me to be here, like talking with you guys. I competed at AJP, UAE, Science 2015. I saw all my friends competing in that events. Leandro Lo, Miao brothers, we came from the same gym, and then we always see interviews. We saw like their fights on the events, you know, in the AGP, and I dream to be here one day, you know, and then that day it's here. So thank you too. I'm so happy. Congratulations for AGP and UAE for the events they're doing. It's too important for athletes. I I like so much how they care for us, you know. You can see how different it is, like when they give you opportunities, you know. I don't see like AGP has a favorite athletes. If you are competing, if you are doing your job, you will be on the lights, you know. So for sure, I did my job, and then that's why I'm here today. I try to do my best when I'm competing on the mats, you know, to try to give a show for the peoples, for the event. I know you guys need us, and then we need you guys. So
It's
yeah.
a give and take relationship. AJP definitely appreciate your presence in all the
For
championships.
sure.
Uh, they definitely appreciate your loyalty,
Yeah.
and it's athletes like you that make the brand as strong as it is today. Thank you again, Leonardo, for your time.
Thank you, my friend.
Be good.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
So guys, thank you. See you next time.
Rodrigo, thank you for coming to our studio and giving us the time to discuss the many different topics we have to go through today. Starting with the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam, which happened last weekend. Big success. I personally enjoyed the fight, but give us some insight on the overall insights about the event.
Thanks, Zahi, to have me here in the AJP TV. It's a pleasure to talk about the Grand Slam. Well, this season was unique because we came out of a pandemic, and during the pandemic, we could not measure too much what AJP was doing. But the last year, as everyone could travel and go around, we had a successful season, like with amazing, if you count all the Grand Slam, about 4,000 players, more than 100 nationalities. We gave away more than 1 million cash prizes for only this specific tour. And this is what, as a AJP major event league that takes the standard of this event to the world. So many people cannot fly into Abu Dhabi. Now we are taking Abu Dhabi to them. So that's the main reason that Grand Slam it's going as a premium event, a prime event to the capitals, like we are in Moscow, Rio, Miami, Abu Dhabi, Tokyo. Now we add up this season Sydney. It was a great market, great potential we can see. We were adding China, so we had a test event in China. So next season probably we'll see more and more.
And the athletes, I've had a lot of interviews with them. A lot of them actually appreciate. This is why they are becoming even more loyal to AJP, because instead of them having to always travel places, sometimes the brand is actually reaching their hometown, and this is something which is raising their loyalty to the brand.
Yeah, we know that it's so hard to keep up training, and because their efforts, AJP is rewarded then in a good way. We know that Abu Dhabi took the sports to another level in professionalism, and when we are working the backstage, we see the leadership from Sheikh Mohammed or Chairman Abdulmanan Al-Hashmi, how they love Jiu-Jitsu, the passion, and we want to share this with our players, our fighters, and having this great support where they can keep up with their training. In the past, I remember most of the fighters, they were doing seminars, opening their own schools to generate income. Now they can travel as a professional, get some reward, go to the next event, get paid for that as a professional. And this is what we are creating, an industry, professional industry. I think other organizations are following the same steps, paying well-paid athletes to fight, and this is it's just to give a reward for their great efforts.
Because it's something that they deserve, and it's going noticed. A lot of the athletes have told me. Yesterday I had Catriel Rodrigues, a beautiful life story, and AJP and Abu Dhabi literally changed his life from something full of hardships to a father and an athlete that can compete and provide for his family.
Yeah, it's always good to hear some feedback from athletes because we can build up. That's like as close we are from the athletes, more we know them personally, and we know their struggle. And Catriel, it's something nice because he was the one always proving himself, getting white cards to compete with black belts while he was still brown belt, and we are making his career start earlier in stage instead to wait him to get black belt and compete in this high stage, let's say in the finals of Abu Dhabi Grand Slam. If we follow the conventional belt system, that would not be allowed. But now, as he's showing his techniques and that he's ready to compete in the level, we gave white cards to these athletes.
And now the season has ended, but AJP, hard work, events all year. The new season starts next month in Rio. What can we expect? Some changes, some perks, some additions to the new season?
Yeah, like we are planning to add more Grand Slams. We are looking between 7 to 8 Grand Slams. Currently, we already confirming Rio de Janeiro in June. We have September Miami to be a great event. We are doing so much efforts to make USA successful. After we have a World Pro, we are counting to have a Shanghai, China in December. We booked the arena for Tokyo January, so we'll come back after probably 3 or 4 years. We are coming back to Tokyo. We also have the Sydney on March, and I have to end up London and Abu Dhabi. So we always trying to keep the same cities, the same calendar. We expect to give more than 1 million cash prize next year only for Grand Slam Tour. And this is like always the support where we are going now with the cities, city council. Abu Dhabi is a great example because as many players we bring, the tourism it is growing, the legacy that the players come here, they go to other clubs to training, they stay with their friends, they stay longer than just come in and play and come back. They come and see the lifestyle, and this is what reflecting every city. When you go to Miami, the crowd that's coming for the event, and this the top athletes around the world. You can see when you go to Rio. So working with the city councils or governors, mayors, it's bringing value for the event, and they are understanding this sport now. When we bring such organization to their city, also they bring
Value. They bring opportunities.
top players where they kept their technical or their lifestyle. They share what they eat. They share their so many things, and we see here around like 90 nationalities. You go to the hotels, always packing the lobbies, people sharing, so much sportsmanship around.
And you seem very passionate when you speak. How does it feel to be Rodrigo, someone who used to compete and now you're traveling the world, organizing, making things happen for the athlete, making things happen the way you wanted them to happen for you and for your entourage?
Oh, well, I kind of luck, but of course, luck is not enough. You need to be prepared. When I say lucky, to be close to chairman, understand his vision and passion for jiu-jitsu and the leadership is where even we try to pass to our colleagues in the work, or most like AJP has now so many staffs. If you see how many people is working for jiu-jitsu full-time here inside the arena, like it's about 300 people that working full-time for jiu-jitsu only in our company, plus other place. So every day you keep passionate because everyone is adding new ideas. they want to be part of your team. People start to understand more and more about AJP mission. And when you go outside, always we go out of our comfort zone. We are looking to different spots like Africa, Asia, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan. You go to several places. We are adding more countries. This year we already have 63 countries on our calendar, and we are growing more, receiving application more. I start to make good friends out of it. I'm more than 10 years working in the company, so this is when you ask how to feel, like I feel it's a big family working all together for the same passion, same goal, and it's quite easy. People say, when you work in something that you love, you're not working. It's the opposite. You work a lot.
You work very hard.
You
right?
work very hard. You work a lot. You are every day. It's a struggle. Sometimes you're stressed. Sometimes you fail. You do mistakes, and you stand up and, like, as a fighter, you understand. I lose this fight, but there's so many more there, and this is what makes jiu-jitsu unique, because you lose a lot on the mats to learn. You are very humble on the mats around. So when you go and meet people who are humble, you want to take, like even you, Zahi, being part of the team is bringing value to the team. And so you have so many people that likes martial arts, and they are being adding to AJP value.
And there is a lot of value which we get from jiu-jitsu, which is directly related to the business sense also. So you can learn things like, I don't know, like almost everything, starting with the hardship you have on the mat, the days you go to the gym and things are not working and you know how to overcome them. You take this and you reflect it directly in your business, in your day-to-day life, and this is how life happens.
Yeah. Behind AJP, we have like the mother company, IFSM. And we start to see that we were struggling in other fields. Now we are struggling in production, we were struggling in marketing, and the team started to build up like our own production team for TV, broadcasting. During the pandemic, we couldn't find the partners that was going around the world with us, so let's do ourselves. That's when the hit us hard, like, we need to learn how to go to a new field. So we need to find technical people to do the broadcasting. We need marketing team. We need whenever we travel now, after we are going to the 9th year of Grand Slam, next season is 10 years. So you start to reach these countries, and already we have companies there from our mother company as an IFSM. They are delivering for us, same as here, where we manage everything, like from A to Z. You can see it's doing everything on house, and that's became easier and easier. So you just delegate, and you can work in other projects inside IFSM. You can add more products or more opportunity for the athletes to fight. So they're looking to have opportunities or experience to travel abroad and go to Japan to understand their culture once in a life. I want to go to Japan. This is a great opportunity. You can do your travel plus fight, do what you like, and come back with a good experience from that 5 minutes when they fight. We want they feel this experience. These 5 minutes during the match should be unique, as you see in the finals of World Pro or finals Grand Slam, how they will have this legacy on digital, YouTube or Instagram. You created this.
This is how they grow.
Yeah.
This is how they grow, and this is how we grow as a team in AJP, expanding your opportunities. And talking about opportunities, I saw the calendar for AJP USA. I see an aggressive expansion. It's not a new market. You discussed that we're spreading the sport in some of the market like Azerbaijan and places which are relatively new. But going into the USA, what motivated you to do this year?
USA, it's also a market that you need to be specialized to enter. Like, and we were making such a good plan, not to just enter the US market and be one more organization. We want to look to make around 50 event or even 100 event in US. But we want with quality, so we are growing. Now we found a good team that we can rely. We already put online 7 events in US until the end of the year. We plan another 3, so it's gonna be 10 events in US this year. And as everyone know, they love the grappling. They love jiu-jitsu in some way. And it's a huge market, huge country that you need to focus on some capitals for now, but we'll be everywhere. We want to enter now in small cities, small communities, and whatever we go to big cities. This is what I feel when I travel. There is so many events in these big cities, so I'm not going to this event, I'll go to the next one. But when you go away a little bit from these big capitals, you put jiu-jitsu in new cities, you are spreading the word jiu-jitsu, you're spreading the sport and the martial arts, you are sharing what we have as a good from the sport, and you are giving to the community the best of it.
And what do you think is gonna play? What is the winning factor for you to actually achieve your goals in the USA?
We need to understand how each market they work. We need to understand, of course, if you go to Brazil, or it's different from Europe. If Europe is totally different from Africa, how you approach them. Same in Asia or Middle East. You need to understand your community. And jiu-jitsu as a wide community, but every niche. Now we start to go to USA, stepping like in each, let's say, field, marketing, technical, referees. We need to see the production. We need to counting all the logistics involved to transport our equipments, mats. We want to have the best of the best for the athletes. So looking the whole logistics in USA, where you're gonna put your warehouse. So it's coming big. That's why it's not like a single event. Should be planned as a tour. And for the next 3 years, we already put a good plan, the management, and we're gonna see AJP next year like raising a lot, because USA, they demand the fans, the spectators there, they demand something good. If it's not good, they'll put you aside.
The sports market in USA is definitely unique. I think one of the major mistakes that some of the organizations outside the US do is trying to do exactly the same what the US market is doing, but outside the US market. So good luck with that. We have one more topic I would like to talk to you about. I personally know about the next big thing in grappling, but whether or not we are gonna reveal the name, it's up to you. Give me the information you would like to share.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi has invested so much in the fundamental, in the foundations. Like we see how they invest jiu-jitsu in the schools for the kids. Then as they go for the military, for the policy training, it's mandatory to have jiu-jitsu to build a better character, a better person, or just to give you more confidence to the athletes. And as we grow, we start to open professional jiu-jitsu tournaments where we can bring the platform to Abu Dhabi. That time was 2009 when they launched the first World Professional Championship. And that was well paid at that time. But many organizations came after and start also make one event per year, big event, but Abu Dhabi is doing everywhere. So if you see a big company, they're like only in Brazil or only US. Or now we are everywhere, and we were missing the big event, the big platform, the big
The big boom, the big,
big
bang.
bone, yeah. And this is now opportunity where we're gonna have an invitational event. Of course, we have a qualification system to reach. It's gonna be main card, co-main card. So we are looking to big matches. The technical and the regulations is gonna change from the conventional. We are looking to do 2 years qualification, belt system. More we'll have in the next few weeks, but what I can say that will be a boom in the sport. It's gonna come a good investment for the professional athletes that we cannot lose them anymore. They will be from the stage 1 kids until they retire with us. That's why we are looking to keep them after they reach a certain position that they can choose their fights. I want to fight with this athlete. I want to fight with this athlete. And this organization will make this happen. We weren't coming as matchmakers. We want who we want to fight. Even like AJP is looking to drive some athletes to our partners or colleagues. I want to fight MMA. I want to go to MMA carriers. We can drive and make this path to them easy. And this event will have opportunity also to have a gi and no gi competition where we can bring more grappling styles, as we had back in the day when the Abu Dhabi had the idea to make some styles together.
Mixed arts.
Yeah, and we are coming now to make a big show, big show. I think that's what AJP was waiting for. It's part of not only AJP, but big companies are working to make this happen, and it'll be amazing.
And when
Stay tuned.
do you plan on announcing additional details about this?
In 2 weeks, probably, but the main event's gonna be October 23 this year. It's
Also, what's happening this year?
this year. It's something is coming.
Something's up. I mean, we're gonna have to do a zoom in episode only with Rodrigo Valerio, with all the information you have and all the new projects that you've been thinking about and discussing with me. But this time, I'm not gonna take additional valuable time from you. I know you have a trip to Dubai to take. Thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure talking with you, and we'll see you around.
Thanks, Zahi. Thanks for having me. Stay tuned. It's coming. Os.
Thanks for everyone that tuned in on today's episode. We really appreciate your support. To all our guests, thank you for coming. It has been a blast. Shane, hit that outro.